Okay, all right, good afternoon. I was going to make a bad joke, but I won't make it. A couple programming notes. As you know, 12:45, Ambassador Vasily Nebenzia, permanent representative of the Russian Federation and President of the Security Council for the month of October, will be here to brief you on the program of work. Tomorrow we will have a guest, and that is Dr. Rick Pieperkorn, who, as you know, is the World Health Representative for the occupied Palestinian territory. He will be briefing us from a location in Gaza tomorrow, and I will let you know if he goes first or if I go first, depending on what's more useful for him. Let me start with an update on Afghanistan. Our colleagues at the UN Assistance Mission in Afghanistan tell us that in the last few hours, a nearly 48-hour cut in the internet and telecommunications connectivity across the country appears to have been reversed, with services resuming nationwide. The cut was implemented without clear explanation from the de facto Taliban authorities and appears to have been reversed also without explanation. The UN mission adds that in addition, it appears that commercial air traffic, in addition to flights from the United Nations flights, are also now cleared to resume normally. As mentioned yesterday, this communications cut had risked inflicting multiple negative impacts on the Afghan people, on the economic stability, on the continued grave situation for Afghan women and girls, and on the right of all Afghan people to freedom of expression and access to information and privacy. The cut had also disrupted our own work, ranging from Security Council mandated work of the UN mission in Kabul to the vital and life-saving humanitarian assistance and basic human needs work of the multiple UN agencies, funds, and programs who are all operating in Afghanistan, as well as their own international and local partners. That work includes critical assistance to victims and the recent earthquake. We welcome the reversal of this ban and will continue to watch developments closely. Turning to the situation in Gaza, our friends at the Office of the Coordination of Humanitarian Affairs warn that airstrikes and shelling are continuing across the Gaza Strip, with scores of people reportedly killed or injured. Palestinian rocket fire towards Israel was also reported today. In Gaza, the Ministry of Health says that since October 2023, fatalities have exceeded 66,000 people. We stress once again that civilians must never be targeted under international humanitarian law. They must be protected at all times. Meanwhile, women and children continue to bear the brunt of starvation and malnutrition in Gaza. Yesterday, UNICEF said in a social media post that a 9-year-old girl died from severe malnutrition. Overall, according to the Ministry of Health in Gaza, 177 people, that includes 36 children, have died from starvation and malnutrition since famine was confirmed by the IPC in August. Although our partners working on nutrition were able to reach some 600 malnourished pregnant and breastfeeding women last month, this is far from enough. Our colleagues at the UN Population Fund tell us that over 60% of pregnant women and new mothers are suffering from malnutrition. OCHA continues calling for unimpeded and sustained access into and throughout Gaza to deliver critical supplies and services in sufficient quantities, including nutritious food, through commercial sectors such as meat, vegetables, and dairy products. That is all to help meet people's needs. Meanwhile, people continue to be displaced. Our colleagues at UNICEF warn that children have been walking in fear and terror for several days amid ongoing bombardments, gunfire, and also amidst dead bodies, all of this without food or adequate water. In southern Gaza, families are squeezed into severely overcrowded makeshift tents along the coast. As winter approaches, tents are at risk of being flooded. You might recall that in August, some families were affected by the rising tides along the coast of Gaza. Our partners report that this week, tents, tarpaulins, and bedsheets entered Gaza via the approved crossings. However, hundreds of thousands of people remain in desperate need of any sort of shelter. We need more safe and approved routes for the collection of shelter materials to mitigate the looting. The reopening of the Allenby bridge needs to be reopened to cargo movements and an increase in the volume that it is approved and customs cleared for entry. Turning to Haiti, and I think you saw the vote in the Security Council yesterday, and I can tell you that we welcome the adoption by the Security Council of Resolution 2793, which authorizes the transition of the multinational security support mission in Haiti to a gang suppression force. It also requests the creation of a new UN support office in Haiti, and we have a new acronym, UNSO. That office is meant to provide logistical and operational support to the gang suppression force. Establishing a UN support office funded by peacekeeping assessed contributions was initially recommended by the Secretary General back in February, as you will recall. We urge member states to support the gang suppression force, including through scaled-up voluntary contributions and the provision of uniformed personnel. All this to help overcome the challenges that have constrained the multinational security support mission. In this regard, we welcome the establishment of a standing group of partners for the gang suppression force by member states to provide high-level strategic direction, oversight, and relevant political decision-making for the new force. This is also among the Secretary General's recommendations back in February. We call on Haitian stakeholders to build on this momentum by accelerating efforts to complete the political transition. The head of our political office in Haiti, Carlos Ruiz Massieu, continues to support Haitian actors on that path. The UN political mission in Haiti's prevention and good officers work remains now more relevant than ever. And of course, we've been, keeping on Haiti. I wanted to update you on something we've highlighted there before, and that is the horrific situation regarding gender-based violence. Our colleagues at the Office of the Coordination of Humanitarian Affairs warned that these atrocities continue at alarming levels in Haiti. Between January and August of this year, our humanitarian partners reported more than 6,450 incidents, nearly half of those cases being rape. 1 in 7 of these survivors is a girl under 18. According to our partners, armed groups were reportedly responsible for 75% of the cases. Displaced people account for 70% of the survivors. Only a quarter of rape survivors were able to access medical care within the critical 72-hour window, while another quarter received treatment only after more than 1 month. These delays are driven by insecurity, stigma, weak referral systems, and the absence of health services in so many communities in Haiti. The vast majority of incidents were concentrated in the West Department, with the capital Port-au-Prince alone accounting for more than 30% of cases. We and our partners have been providing life-saving services, including medical and psychosocial support, legal assistance, temporary shelter. However, OCHA reports that access to services remains uneven, with most of these problems concentrated in Port-au-Prince and the surrounding communes. OCHA warns that chronic underfunding is compounding the crisis and leaving the vast majority of survivors without care. Less than 20% of the $19 million required this year for gender-based violence prevention and response in Haiti has been received so far. Urgent support is needed to extend services beyond the capital Port-au-Prince and ensure that women and girls across the country can access protection and care. Quick note on the Philippines, as you will have seen reports of the 6.9 magnitude earthquake that struck the province of Cebu last night. We and our partners and local NGOs are coordinating closely with the provincial and municipal disaster offices, and we of course stand ready to provide support, including in the area of shelter, if requested by the national authorities. Authorities have also confirmed 56 deaths, more than 200 people injured, mostly in northern Cebu and Bogo City and the municipalities of San Remigio and Medellin. Figures are expected to rise, unfortunately, as the assessment continues. Today is which international day? One dear to my heart. Every year becomes more dear to my heart. Exactly. It's the Day of Older Persons. In his message, the Secretary General says that older persons are a powerful agent of change. Their voices must be heard in shaping policies, ending age discrimination, and building inclusive societies. And we have a Lenka, were you going to? Okay. We have a quiz. All right. This Portuguese-speaking country let's start again. The biggest export of this Portuguese-speaking country is cashew nut, and the national dish is caldo de mancara, a savory stew made of chicken, peanuts, tomatoes, and spices, often served with rice. Sorry, no. Vietnam is not a Portuguese-speaking country. Lenka, you're banned from asking any more questions today. All right, hold on. No, okay, you're going to list all the Portuguese-speaking countries. You're all wrong. It's Guinea-Bissau. We say thank you to our friends in Guinea-Bissau. We now have 136 paid-up member states. Lenka, you're not asking the first question. Go ahead.
Thanks, Steph. So the global Sumut flotilla is close or nearing the what they call the high-risk zone, and there have been calls to protect it. Amnesty issued a call today. What's the Secretariat's position on this?
We're obviously following the flotilla very closely. We do not want anyone to get hurt, and we want people's rights to be respected. Deji.
Yes, there's a new assault. What's going on? Sorry. There's a new assault from Israel to Gaza City. If I remember correctly, the ICRC, they decided to leave Gaza City for now. Or what is the status of the UN staff in Gaza City?
We remain present and
Still
working
there.
in Gaza City.
But the defense minister of Israel, Mr. Katz, said that anyone who remains in Gaza City will be, quote, considered terrorists and terror supporters, end of quote. Your comment.
The Israeli authorities know clearly their responsibilities to protect UN premises and UN staff. They know exactly where we work. We coordinate our movements with them, and I think almost every day we talk about the coordination, what goes right, what goes, and what's not able to be coordinated. We take our security colleagues take their work in Gaza extremely seriously. We try to mitigate risk, minimize risk in an extremely risky environment. But at this point, we're continuing with our presence in Gaza City.
So to be clear, no evacuation plan yet.
We continue to be present in Gaza City. Stefano.
Yes, it's a follow-up to the first question. I know you answered what you did. Also, Farhan had replied the same way. But
Well, that's
what
good.
is
What worries me is when Farhan and I say different things.
What is the Secretary General's view at in this moment stage? They are about 100 miles away from Gaza. Should the flotilla continue its course or halt? Does he believe such an initiative contributes to peace and the delivery of aid, or could it risk further escalation?
Look, there is a level of advocacy that is needed and welcome regarding the humanitarian situation in Gaza. As for the flotilla, it is not for the Secretary General to tell them what to do. We just want to make sure that everyone is safe. Sorry, Lenka, come on, we'll give you a... Go ahead.
Thank you, Steph. Your favorite topic, escalators. Any update on this, please? Or what's the holdup? Is there any timeline we could see
I have
past?
nothing. I will, as soon as I know anything about escalators, I will share that with you. Yes, go ahead.
Thanks, Steph. First of all, yes, government shutdown. Does it somehow affect you guys?
No, I mean, not aware of any direct impact. Whether or not it impacts the U.S. mission to the UN, you should ask them. But for us, no.
Sure. May I have one more?
Yeah. Yes, please.
On Ukraine also, Ukraine's language commissioner has called the rise in Russian language use in Ukraine a dangerous trend. From the Secretary General's standpoint, how is the rise of Russian-speaking people are currently being observed in Ukraine?
What is clear for the Secretary General is that people have an inherent right to speak their language and to learn their language. Evelyn.
Thank you, Stéphane. we've heard a lot about the peace plans that the United States, Tony Blair and others, the UN has complimented them. But the action today in Gaza that you described does not sound like anybody is adhering to these peace plans. Are they waiting for something, or?
Well, I can't speak, Evelyn, I can't speak for the parties on the ground. I think Fahan spoke pretty clearly yesterday about what we expect from the Secretary General's standpoint is that, and that is time, it is time for peace, it is time for humanitarian aid to get in, it is time for the hostages to get out, and it is time to restart a process to give hope to Israelis and Palestinians that there can be two states living in peace side by side.
And secondly, Haiti. Is the new force expected to be subsidized by voluntary contributions, or is the UN contributing to it?
Well, I think it's all based on assessed. I mean, our office is based on assessed contributions, but the resolution is pretty extensive. I encourage you to look at it. Okay. Seeing no other questions, we will have the ambassador in about 15 minutes or so. What? It's not, well, whether it's quick or long is in your hands, Deji. It's not in my hands.